A harsh midnight wind raced across the 1890 Nevada desert, carrying whispers of sand and secrets long buried. Cowboys who rode those lands often spoke of strange things, lights flickering on the horizon, shadows moving where no man walked. But nothing prepared rancher Colt Dawson for what he witnessed that night. The desert floor trembled beneath his horse's hooves, a faint rumble stretching through the moonlit dunes like something alive. And then, in the stillness, between two gusts of wind, the earth itself split open. A narrow rift glowed with an eerie pale blue light, cutting through the sand like a wound in the world. Colt froze, staring, his breath locked in his chest. And then she stepped out, a woman covered in dust, trembling, clothes torn, eyes wide with terror, yet burning with something he couldn't name. She looked as if she had crossed a world of darkness just to get here. "Please," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Don't let them take me back." Colt didn't know who they were, but one look at her fear told him everything. Something was coming, and it wasn't human. Her name was Elara Wynn, a wandering healer who had been missing for 4 months, presumed dead after vanishing near Black Hollow Canyon. She didn't remember much, only running, falling, the ground opening beneath her, and waking in a place where the sky had no sun. Colt didn't believe in ghost stories, but the desert had a way of breaking a man's certainty. As thunder rolled through a cloudless sky, he pulled her onto his horse and rode hard, toward the shelter of an abandoned miner's cabin. The wind howled behind them like a pack of wolves chasing their scent. Inside the cabin, Colt lit a lantern, its warm glow shaking against the walls. Alara's hands trembled as she drank water, her voice barely steady. "They follow the light. They don't like the dark," she said, staring at the lantern as if expecting it to explode. The shadows in the corners of the room stretched unnaturally long, and once, Colt could have sworn he heard footsteps outside, soft, dragging, almost human. By sunrise, Colt realized the danger wasn't just outside. Elara carried a brand on her wrist, a strange, intricate mark glowing faintly beneath her skin. It pulsed like a weak heartbeat. Every time it flared, the air around them shivered with an unseen energy. Whatever world she came from or fell into had left its claim upon her. And now, it wanted her back. Colt saddled his horse again, knowing they couldn't stay. The trouble was already waiting for them. Ezekiel Crane, a ruthless outlaw who ruled the desert with blood and greed, had been searching for Elara ever since she vanished. Rumors said she knew something buried beneath the sands, something Crane wanted badly enough to kill for. When he spotted Colt riding with her, A gave chase, his bullets tearing through the dawn haze. The chase tore across the desert, gunshots echoing against cliffs and dry riverbeds. Elara clung to Colt as the strange mark on her wrist pulsed brighter and brighter. Finally, cornered near the jagged cliffs of Raven's Divide, they dismounted. Colt's revolver shook in his hand as Crane stepped forward with 10 armed men. But before Crane could fire, the ground trembled again. The same pale blue glow erupted beneath them, splitting the earth in a violent crack. The rift opened wide, wind roaring out of it like a scream. Crane's men stumbled back, terrified, but Crane himself grabbed Elara's arm and snarled, "You're coming with me. Tell me where it is." The mark on her wrist burned white-hot. "I don't belong to you," she whispered, and then everything exploded in light. A column of energy surged upward, throwing Crane and his men backward like leaves in a storm. Colt shielded his eyes as the rift pulled at Elara, trying to drag her in. She reached for Colt, tears shining in her dust-covered eyes. "Don't let go," she begged. Colt grabbed her with both arms, pulling her against him with every ounce of strength he had. "I'm not losing you," he growled, digging his heels into the sand. But the desert had its own will. A wave of blue light swallowed them both, and then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the rift sealed shut with a deafening crack. Silence fell, the dust settled, and there they were. Both of them, still standing. The glow was gone. The mark on her wrist had faded to nothing. The desert was just a desert again. Crane and his men fled like frightened animals, convinced they had witnessed something unholy. Colt exhaled shakily as Elara collapsed into his arms. "Wherever I was," she whispered, her voice filled with relief. "It doesn't want me anymore." He lifted her onto his horse gently. "Then you're staying here," he said softly, "with me." As they rode back toward the rising sun, the wind carried no whispers, no tremors only, the promise of a story no one would ever believe. If you want more Wild West mysteries like this, tell me in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to Wild Tales Storytelling. Thanks for watching.